Assalamu alaikum guys, what's going on? We are the X's and welcome back to the channel. So let's just get it out of the way. There's an elephant in the room. It's me. I have no beard. It came off, it was lower than this. I nearly posted a selfie, I nearly posted a video. Then I had a crisis and now we're here. How old am I looking? About 25, 18. Also, Ramadan is over, so you might see me nibbling and drinking. The detox is over, means the breakout has arrived. Does that sound a bit girly?
No.
No?
Guys can break out.
I considered touching up my nut. Maybe I did. So in today's video, by popular request, we are going to be giving 5 tips to finding the perfect spouse. Amara took these tips about 3 years ago and look how she ended up. So we put our heads together and came up with like 5 things. There are loads more, but we just thought that we'd keep it short, tidy, compact. 5 things that I definitely applied to myself. Amara applied to herself. Again, look how she ended up.
For the 24-year-old boy.
Yeah.
You just look younger, that's all. Maybe the beard adds age and wisdom.
I think the beard contours my face and gives me angles.
Are you married?
Oh yeah,
Oh
by the way.
gosh, no. I'm so much more attracted to you now.
Away! I've got my wedding ring on. This is my wedding ring. Look at those fingers. More so because it kind of matches my outfit. I'm feeling a bit...
Not too good for the ring now, are you? So we've had a lot of like inboxes from guys and girls saying, oh, I'm looking for a spouse, I'm looking for somebody to marry, and what would you recommend or what helped you? And these are 5 like major good starting points for like before you have a spouse. You should really think about these things. So these are 5 things that will make your heart sing and get you your thing.
Ring, you could have said ring.
Oh man, yeah. You know?
Okay, point number 1. Take the time to get to know you. So marriage is a big commitment. Inshallah, it's gonna last for the rest of your life. And you are never going to get single back again. You're never gonna get this quality time to get to know yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
Like when you're single. And in order to find somebody who perfectly complements you, who you can perfectly mesh with and I guess move forward in life, you have to know what you like. You have to know what you don't like. Know your religious values, your character values, your moral standpoint, your interests, your desires, halal desires. But you need to take the time to get to know you. You need to take the time to get to know yourself, grow in the aspects that you want to grow and develop in the areas where you want to develop. So many people just want to get married because they're running out of time. Like, oh, I'm 20, I can't wait until I'm 30. I know that's 10 years. Can't wait until I'm 25, 26, 27. And what they do, instead of working on themselves and figuring out what they do like and what they don't like, is they just look for love. Yeah, and that's a recipe for disaster. When you are looking for love, or when you are looking for a spouse, a lot of things can look like something they are not. Especially if you don't know yourself, and especially if you don't like/love yourself. So personal example, between the ages of about 20 and 27, 28, that's 7 to 8 years, I was stationary. So I was not in the best place, not in the best frame of mind throughout those years. Some things had happened, and instead of getting to know myself, I blocked things out and went free roaming, basically. Yeah, I was free roaming through life. I wasn't taking the time to get to know myself. I wasn't taking the time to learn myself and develop myself. And one day I woke up at 27, 28 years old and I was like, well, that was a waste of 8 years. What the hell? Now I need to play catch up. And I'm pretty good at playing catch up. I used to leave my essays to the last minute. I aced all of them, yes. Some people can catch up, some people can't. But I guess for the rest of my life, I've always felt I was 8 years behind. And during those moments, I attracted all the wrong people. I was attracting what I was. I was lost, I was attracting lost people. And some of those lost people needed me, and I guess I needed some things from those lost people. I'm talking males and females, just the groups that I was in. I attracted all the wrong things, and all the wrong things looked like the right things because I was the wrong thing. Does that make sense? So it's a really dangerous situation to be in. I wish I took the time to develop and find myself earlier, but maybe this is the way it was meant to be.
Things can go really wrong if when you're getting to know somebody or when you like somebody, you trick yourself into thinking that you like them when actually you just like how they make you feel. That's like a huge thing. So many people get into relationships or get into marriages and they don't even like the person after a while, and they're like, how did I get into this? And it was because they were feeling so great in the moment and that person made them feel so great. They were like, oh my god, I'm so happy. But it's not just about being happy. You have to think, is that person, their characteristics, their qualities, what is making that so? Or are they just making me feel good about myself? So the way you protect yourself against that mistake that can happen is go in already feeling good about yourself. Make sure that you're doing things to build your confidence. And that sounds like a very vague statement, but something I've been thinking about lately is a way to build your confidence is think about the things that make you proud of yourself. Behavioural things is in hobbies and everything, but also things inside of you that make you proud of who you are. That's how I kind of think about confidence. For myself, think what makes me proud of myself, what makes me happy with who I am, and that kind of leads to confidence, I think. So make sure you're going in confident like that, so that you don't meet somebody, they make you feel great, and you trick yourself into thinking that's love, or that means that that's a person, because it's not.
Yeah, so you're right. So when you don't like yourself, you're going to be very wooed by any kind of positive characteristic because you have no basis for what positive things are or what a good person is. He liked me, he gave me some attention, or she liked me, she gave me some attention. Maybe they're for me. These kind of things can feel bigger than they are.
Yeah.
When you do that, you overlook a bunch of things. So let's say that you got a checklist of like 20 things and this guy or this girl only ticks like 2 of the boxes. You know what I mean? I don't need a project. I'm not trying to marry a project. Yeah, I'm not like, oh, well, we've got 2 now and it's 18 that we could carve out along the way. No. I'm trying to marry a wife or husband. Well, I'm not trying to marry a husband. But you know what I mean? This is all inclusive. Point number 2, work on your flaws. So after point number 1, it's a bit like I'll get to know yourself and find out what you like and what you don't like. Once you've discovered your flaws, work on them. There's this thing where people get married and they're like, oh, I just want them to accept me just how I am.
Yeah, that's a Marilyn Monroe quote. If you don't like me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Happy birthday. That sounded really bad.
It's all like Patty and Selma. Just accept me, flaws and all. I am this and this is what I am and blah 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 blah, yeah? Why should you be going into marriage
with the baggage?
With the baggage. Flaws are baggage. Now some flaws might be caused because of severe trauma and things like that. Totally different ballpark. I'm talking more like, well, I've got this conditioned response to things, yeah? I'm a bit anxious and, when I get in these situations, I get really irritable. Or I've got some anger problems and when you talk to me in this certain way or I get a bit pressure, I just get, and I punch things. Why are you going into marriage with those kind of flaws and expecting the other person to be okay with it? That's not okay. If you've got these flaws and you're coming to me, I don't want you.
Yeah, it's not fair.
I don't want to be in a relationship with that. I don't want that for the rest of my life. Nor do I want to get married now and watch you develop for 5 years and just be sat here like, well, this is what I'm in, but I guess I just got to deal with it. That's like torture. Yeah. Me and Amara spend every second. I'm with her all the time.
I hate it so much.
If she was intolerable and had really bad character traits, I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around that. That's not nice for me. What kind of character trait is that? Work on it. Don't go into marriage with that.
Yeah, don't give yourself excuses, you know?
What I mean? Yeah, when you're painting out the picture of who you want to marry in your head, do they have those characteristics? No. Right? So on the back of that, work on your flaws, and secondly, meet your standards. Okay? So in life, you will attract what you are. If you have flaws, trust me, you're gonna attract someone with flaws. That's how it goes. You attract what you are. So put out what you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, meet your own standards. Let me give you an example. So when I was about 25, that's nearly 10 years ago.
To me, it's so recent. Like,
oh, yeah.
Listen, you're young. Look at you, 22-year-old.
So when I was 25, I was in the middle of this big 8-year depressing stretch of life that I was in, right? And it was Ramadan. It was the best Ramadan I ever had. And during this period, I made a lot of dua, yeah? And I prayed to Allah to give me someone like me. Now I had problems with the kind of people that I was attracted to or interested in, and I didn't want certain kind of people. I was all over the show. I'll do another video on this, yeah? And I wanted someone that was like me, and someone that talked like me, a Muslim woman who acted like me, and all of these things, yeah? And you have to be careful here, because I don't think that Allah punishes you by the dua you make, yeah? That's not the point I'm making. Somebody basically fell out of the sky, and she talked like me, and she walked like me, and very similar to me, or presented as very similar to me. I was like kind of blown away initially that someone's fallen out of the sky that is just like me.
You made dua for that.
Yeah, subhanallah, this is crazy. And then I realised that after a bit that I don't like this person. This person is literally exactly the same as me, or exactly the same as this version of me now. And I realised that I was no good, basically. You can only attract what you put out, basically. And the version of myself that I was, I didn't like it because
when you saw it in somebody else.
when I saw it in somebody else, it wasn't attractive to me. It wasn't desirable. I didn't want that for the rest of my life. So then I was thinking, well, why would somebody else want me for the rest of my life when I wouldn't even, that's not even good enough for me. So I'm not good enough for me then. That's because of what I was presenting at the time. So I did some self-work and I worked on myself.
You followed these 5 tips. Look where you are.
I follow tip number 2. So just be careful. Just be careful seeking marriage, doing everything and moving mountains to try and make this thing work or to try and find someone right now when you're not even the person that you would want to be with right now. You really do attract what you are. You're only going to attract what you are. Let's say there's a guy who smokes weed and he drinks and he parties and he this and that, yeah? Is he going to attract like a practicing Muslim hijabi who's only interested in the deen and righteousness? Those two things don't work for each other, innit? While you're this defected, like, lower version of yourself, not the person that you should be, and you say, no, well, I want a guy that's confident, and I want a guy that's intelligent, and he makes a lot of money, and he practices, and he's on his deen, and you know, he's big and strong and he's healthy, but you're not any of those things. Why should that guy want you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want a girl who she's on the deen and she's a virgin and I don't know, she's in shape and you know she comes from a good background and she's really, really loyal and you're none of those things. Why should she want you? You're not even going to attract that. You might attract somebody that can pretend to be a bit like that, but it's not that, and it's going to mess you up. It really is going to mess you up.
Yeah, that's so real. When I was like, in my hijab video I've already mentioned, but when I was going through a phase where I was very lost and very like not aligning with my own inner values and everything, I was very lost, very confused. I was attracting people that were just like me. And it would have been so terrible. It would have been so terrible. Like, I wanted a good Muslim man and they were not coming. Like, you cannot attract the dream of the kind of husband or the kind of wife you want if you're not presenting that way, because they're not looking for you then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're looking for certain things and they're looking right past you.
Yeah. So think about it. What are you bringing to the table and what are they bringing to the table? And if your meal ain't as big as their meal, then...
better get cooking!
You better get cooking. Ooh, that was sweet, that. Yeah, you better get cooking.
Number 3, and this is like a huge one, especially for girls, because I feel like women have more of a like, oh, I have a ticking clock, I think they care more about getting married like when they want to get married, which is usually younger. Do not settle and don't force it. You will be told by people in life that you're going to have to compromise on some things. You're never going to find somebody that's perfect for you. You're going to have to settle at the end of the day. They won't say the word settle, they'll say the word compromise. You're going to have to compromise on some things. You don't. Like,
you don't.
Do a checklist before you go into looking for a spouse and into this world, or even if you started to like somebody, quickly, while your head is clear, because your head is going to get muddy. No matter how logical and rational you think you are, your head will get muddy. Do a checklist of things that you know about yourself. So you've done step 1, you've done the work on yourself, you know yourself, right?
Do a checklist.
The things that, okay, for me, whoever I'm married to in the next 30 years, I think these qualities are kind of important. I think it's important that they have this. I think it's really important they don't do this or they don't have this. Make that checklist for yourself, and it's not that you have to stick to it and you have to not move from it, because that's not realistic, right? You're gonna have some things where they have a different thing or they don't have something that was on your checklist. That's okay. If you have the checklist there, then when somebody comes and you get the lovey eyes and you're like, oh my god, you made me feel so... Don't link arms though, don't do that. When you get the lovey eyes and stuff, then at least you have your checklist to look at and be real with yourself. It's okay for them to not have all the things on the checklist, but at least be honest with yourself before you get married. Be honest with what you are compromising on, if you're compromising, and make sure with yourself that you know that fully going into marriage. Okay, I am compromising on this. Because after marriage, so many people down the road, when their lovey eyes have faded and stuff, they're like, why am I with somebody that does this? Or why am I with somebody that doesn't have this? I always wanted somebody that had this or looked like this. And these things, they don't have a parameter of, oh, they have to be something significant, deep. It can be shallow things as well.
Well, what is shallow? That's the question. What is shallow? Let's say that I only like girls that are really curvaceous, yeah? And somebody else like someone just for their personality. Those two things are just as shallow as each other.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's a thing for me of it's not shallow. I think it's a thing of it doesn't matter if it's shallow. You're looking at marriage and only you are getting married with this person. So even if it is something shallow, and even if you talk to your friend and you kind of judge yourself if you said it out loud to somebody, don't compromise on it if it's going to be important to you, because you're only going to be sabotaging yourself later. Even if it is something that you would consider shallow, it doesn't matter, because marriage is too important.
Yes.
Don't be like, oh, I don't even care about that, get married, and then be like miserable inside because it actually means so much to you. These things do come back later, you know? Yeah. An example I would give is, say it's really important to you to marry somebody that you're really attracted to, that has a really good stable kind of income or something like that, and that is as intelligent as you are. right? Say that's important to you and that is what you think will stimulate you for the next however many years. They don't have to be the smartest person on the planet, but they at least have to be on your wavelength of intelligence so that you can speak to them and have the same kind of conversations and same, like, you know, be speaking at the same level. If that is important to you, if a guy comes along and he's gorgeous and he's got a stable job, but he's not registering on the intelligence level that you originally said was important to you, really look at that, because those are things that you might overlook at first because he's got a pretty face, but then later down the road you might just feel a bit stuck or unfulfilled, or like you've not got the kind of partner that you kind of always wanted when you were younger, and you just got blinded by the love and the looks and he's here. That's a huge thing. It's a fact of, well, he's here right now, like I want to get married now and he's here right now. Don't compromise the things that are important to you unless you are really intentionally looking at your list and being very aware with yourself that, okay, I'm compromising that thing. I'm willing to acknowledge I'm compromising that thing. I'm going in clear-headed, I'm going to marry this person. I am compromising that thing, but I'm going to marry him. That's the only way you can do it.
Because if these things are major things, they will pop up and they will present as problems down the line. Mummy told me never compromise your character and never compromise your wedding list. That was, Mummy never said that second part. Point number 4, tie your camel. Beautiful saying. I think it's an Islamic saying, not necessarily from the Quran, but it's like in the Arab world. Tie your camel.
Saying if you want your camel to stay, back then we don't have camels now, but back then in the day, if you want your camel to stay put while you go inside, you can't just be making dua to God like, oh my God, God, please keep my camel there. You have to do your bit and tie your camel. You do your bit and then you leave the rest to God.
Bit of a controversial point. Always stay halal. Okay? So my first disclaimer before this point is always keep it halal. Yeah, we are Muslims, so we conduct ourselves as Muslims, and if you are Muslim, always stay halal. If you're not Muslim, always stay halal. Okay? We had a message from somebody saying they are waiting to get married, and their friends trying to introduce them to people or hook them up with people, or the family was trying to like introduce them to people and say, oh, why don't you speak to this guy or get to know this guy in halal capacities. We have to always assume, I'm going to give the benefit of that they're in halal capacities, because we can never advise somebody to do something that is not halal, because that goes against our values. And I think this person was saying that, okay, well, what they've done is they're making dua to Allah to bring the person to them. Not saying, oh, it's just going to fall out of the sky and, you know, have the magic shoe and be like, or like, you know, the stork that drops the baby off. It's like, no, assalamu alaikum. So what they were saying is that they're making dua to Allah to like bring the guy to them, basically, in a more natural kind of setting, other than their friends introducing them or the family introducing them, because they don't want to cross the lines, they don't want to do things that are wrong, And this person also mentioned the fact that it's written in the Quran that Allah says, you know, He's created you in pairs and things like that. People often use this verse to say that, okay, well, your name was written next to your spouse's name. Allah's already decided who your partner is for you, or something like that. And there are also some like Arabic sayings like, oh, well, Allah's written your name of your partner thousands of years before, and that's who it's going to be already, so don't worry, he's coming or she's coming. Now the question is, if that's what the verse meant, how can people die single?
How can people get divorced?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's obviously not what the
literal translation is.
It's not a literal sense. So when Allah says we created you in pairs, when He talks about creating humans in pairs, He's talking about created the male and the female, and Allah speaks about pairs like a few times and says like, oh, it's like the night and the day, like the sun and the moon, things like that. So that verse is not saying, although we do believe in qadr, and we do believe that Allah can see everything that's going to happen, Allah knows everything that has happened, will happen, and could have happened. It doesn't mean that, okay, well, your name's written next to that person's already, and
just sit back and relax.
I would equate this to saying you don't just get in the car and start your engine. I'm planning a trip to London. You get in the car, you start your engine, you sit down. No matter how much dua you make, that car's not taking you to London. You need to drive.
What about a Tesla?
Oh, a Tesla might, Something could happen. I guess somebody could crash into you and you had an accident, or the helicopter came to pick you up and the helicopter lifted you into the sky. We went to that hospital, but we couldn't go to that one, or something happened and you ended up in London, and subhanallah, that would be like a crazy miracle, But more often than not, you need to find a map and drive there yourself. You ask Allah to get you there safely, ask Allah to give you some wisdom along the journey, but you can't just start the engine, or not even start the engine and say, Allah, take me there. So I'm not encouraging people to go out and start talking to loads of guys in the haram setting or anything like that. But I don't know if anyone's seen The Pursuit of Happiness. The kid goes, one day a man was drowned in the water and a boat came by and he said, hey, do you need any help? And he said, no, it's okay, God will save me. And then another boat came by and said, hey, did you need any help? And he goes, no, it's okay, God will save me. And then the man drowned and he died. And then when he went to heaven, he said, hey, God, how come you didn't save me? And God said, I sent 3 people. You dummy. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. But the point remains. So, Allah could be sending people to you through your family or through your friends, as long as it's in a halal setting.
Through Facebook.
I know I'm not encouraging you to just say, okay, well, I'm going to talk to every single guy that I interact with. But continue to make dua and tie your camel.
Tie your camel.
All I'm saying...
In a halal way.
Yeah, tie your camel.
Halal string. Take a mahram. Tip number 5, the final one. The 5 tip. Last tip. Sometimes, especially when you're young, you can meet somebody and you're like, what great fun this person is. They make me feel alive, they make me feel great. I want to spend more time with them, I want to marry them. But you're not thinking about ahead. What will they be like as a father? What will they be like while you need your goals supported? What will they be like for your akhirah? Make sure that these things in the future are thought about. Don't just focus on the way they are with you now and the way they make you feel right now, because there's a lot of fun people out there.
Sure.
A lot of great people out there. There's a lot of people out there that will show you a good time and that can make you laugh and make you feel good. These are not exclusive to one person.
I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time.
No. Be here for a long time. Wait for that person that is fun and vibrant and makes you feel good, but you can also do all the future investment things with them. Make sure that they are the person that you can imagine is going to be a great husband long term, great father long term if you want kids, great to your family, great at supporting your goals. They need to be more than a good time right now, because there's so many people out there that will be a great Muslim and great fun and a great time right now, and as great as they are, you can't really imagine having kids with them.
Yeah.
Or you think they're not really like a father type. They'll grow into it, they'll do it later. No.
And it's cool for people to get married young, yeah? Like my dad always wanted me to get married at like 15 years old.
That would be crazy.
He said when you meet a girl, marry her. Romeo and Juliet, the greatest love story ever told, they were 14 years old, I think they were 14 and 15. Crazy that, innit?
Crazy. He loves Romeo and Juliet.
By and by, come, my lady. By and by, come. Inshallah, I'll say one day we'll have a kid. What are you going to call him? It doesn't matter what his name is. Would a rose by any other name not still smell as sweet? Well, people are young and trying to get married young. It's cool, but you are a kid and you're going to be marrying a kid. And it can work by the blessing and the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you're marrying a kid and you are a kid, you need somebody else to kind of guide your values or to think about the man side of life, which is where the parents and stuff can get involved. I guess that can get a bit difficult. You're marrying someone not just for now, you're marrying someone for the future. And if you're just marrying someone for now, maybe they only suit you right now. Like the guy who I was 10 years ago, I'm not that guy anymore. I don't recognize that guy. I know it was a past version of myself, but I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
And I don't relate to that person. The fact of the matter is that guy was not good enough for me. He's definitely not good enough for Amara. So yeah.
He was handsome though.
It's good looking. I'm 25 again. I still got curls,
Guys, tell him he still looks great.
Please. Oh, is that a good? Ooh!
I think especially for people that are young and they're like, oh, I'm considering somebody and I'm young and I don't really know if they're the right person. I think that's the trickiest bit, because you can't predict. They don't even know themselves enough to be able to tell you what they're going to be like in the future. And I think that's what's a little bit easier about getting married when you're a bit older, because you're kind of more thinking about all these future things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like kids and jobs and everything like that. So if you are getting married young, just put extra care into talking about these things and being as realistic as you can about those things, because don't leave them to the future. You need to have these discussions now.
And take advice, Take some advice.
Don't be too proud to take advice.
I'll be honest with you, apart from the fact that if I didn't get married at this age, I wouldn't be married to Amara, and obviously Amara's a perfect wife for me. I wish I got married. Do you know, if it was like, could have worked out that way, I wish I got married to her. Now, I understand that I wasn't developed, I wasn't the right kind of person, but I wish I got married. I wish I was able to like just to think about, just to cut out all of that and be like, boom, and get married and just sort it out. Yeah, of course I do.
It's me, right?
What's this?
You said boom over there, like it's somebody else. I want to be the boom.
No, this is past you.
Oh, right, okay.
No, when I was 21, you were 15. No. So, those were the 5 things.
I hope that the people have messaged us, like asking for us to make this video. I hope that those tips are useful to you. They really, like, genuinely are things that we find really important, and they should help you through it, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah, I hope you were able to gather something from it. My overall point would be, just to surmise all of that into one, is take your time. Stop rushing. Stop trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Don't force it.
Don't settle.
Don't settle. No compromising.
You can have it all.
Take your time. Relax. Make dua. Perfect yourself. I'm just now.
Tie your camel.
Tie your camel, yeah, do those things. But inshallah, you can end up with a marriage that is the perfect marriage for you.
So that was the video, guys. I hope it was helpful.
We've got a bunch of videos coming up. Some of them are going to be like very heavily relationship kind of oriented. We've got a lot of topics to cover. And we, inshallah, are here for the long haul.
New video every Sunday, inshallah. So keep an eye out.
Inshallah.
If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this and see our faces, click subscribe, hit the notification bell. And thanks for watching, guys.
My name's Sufyan.
My name's Amara.
We are the X's. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Tie your camel. Must be love, love, love.
I'm taking full advantage.
You take those ramifications.
Croissant and coffee, I'm living the rich life.
Croissant on coffee. I hate when you rap it like this, like ooh, ee, ah. No, I like when you sing beautiful.
And
you
I'm
should
ready
sing.
with my dick.
No! See? You're not even your voice!
Love.